Hello, 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 hello. It's Thursday. Hello, happy Thursday, everybody. You know what Thursday means? It's a new episode of Chit Chat with Bernie Bella. I'm your host, Bernie Deen. So, people, what a guan and what a guan, where a guan, what a guan. How you doing? All is well? All is well. For those who have checked in already, let me know if you can hear me clearly. Drop a comment, say hello, say hi. Welcome to episode 12 of Chit Chat with Bernie Bella. If you're tuning in for the first time, welcome. Previous episodes can be found on my YouTube channel. So visit the site, like, comment, and subscribe, and set your notification bell. Okay, so thanks to everyone for tuning in today. Share the live, share the live, share the live. This is a talk show where we discuss sports, politics, current affairs, entertainment, gossip, and news. What's happening in our community and around the world. Also, if it's a trending topic, it will be discussed as well. Your thoughts and opinions are welcome. Night, Colleen. Can you hear me clearly? How are you doing? You, the viewers, will be asked to participate. You can ask questions, make comments, give your opinions, etc. It's an interactive show, and your participation will also give you the opportunity to win the gift of the week. This week's gift is the Matrix Protein Powder, and I'll touch on it a little bit later in the show. We've got lots to go over this week, so I'm just going to jump right in and start with our artist preview of the week. And I'm going to start with Busy Signal and Bounty Killer. They've got a video out this week for the song called Bang Boom. The name sound weird, but the rhythm of the song nice. You actually find yourself a bop to it, and you don't even know why you bop to the song, but the song nice. It should be a good radio hit for hit for both radio and dancehall. So it's awesome. Munga Honorable Natural Flames and Ice Block premiered a new song this week called Hilltop Camp. It's got a nice rhythm to it. You can rock to it, and it's also radio play worthy. Gramps Morgan has a new video out called for the song called Runaway Bay. Nice clean lyrics, good conscious song. It's also a very sad week for him as he lost his 12-year-old nephew suddenly over the weekend. So prayers and blessings to the family. Check out all videos on YouTube and Vivo, and the video links are in the description box on my YouTube channel. So we're going to jump to the sports arena, and the defending champions, the LA Lakers, are no longer in the NBA playoffs as they have been sent fishing for this season by the Phoenix Suns. The LA Clippers barely made it into the playoffs and also lost their first game against the Utah Jazz. They did not play well. So we'll see how they do in game 2, which is tonight, and that starts at 10 p.m. So your girl's going to go watch it after the show is finished. The Blue Jays are also having a so-so week. They've won some, lost some. They still have a winning record, but they do need to pick up more wins in order to get to the top of their division. Their record is 30-28. Let's see who else is checked in. Oh, hi, Rudolph. How are you? And Colleen says, told you the king was going to lose his crown. That he did not play well, and he's also a sore loser because he didn't shake anybody's hands before he walked off the court. So our Toronto FC soccer team, they're still off until July 19th, so they haven't played any games for a few days. The good news with that is they also haven't lost any games. So we'll look forward to see what happens when they return on June 19th. And hopefully they'll start winning some games because they did not start out the season well at all. So if you just joined, drop a comment, say hello. Let me see who is here with me tonight. We're going to move on. So right now we're going to circle to Jamaica. So for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, I usually do around the world, Jamaica, USA, Canada, different parts of the world, depending on where the interesting stories are. So if you hear me say it, I'm going to circle to Jamaica or circle to Florida or whatever. That's where the stories are originating from. So we're going to go to Jamaica, and this story has been on for about a year now. So Lloyd Deen, who is the father of the missing visually impaired University of the West Indies student Jasmine Deen, said he's disappointed with news that the men held with his daughter's possessions will not be charged with murder. Director of Public Prosecutions Paula Llewellyn made the ruling last Tuesday that the men who were held with Jasmine's phone and debit card would not face murder charges, as the evidence brought against them doesn't hold much weight. Right now, me don't know what to say, because after 1 year, me did that hope say me I go hear something good, said Deen. So it's really sad to hear say them I go like that. Tamar Henry, 40, and Gregory Wright, 36, have been charged with possession of identity information, 8 counts of unauthorized access to data, and simply larceny. Henry was also charged with breaches of the Dangerous Drug Act, since the two were held last June, which was a major breakthrough in the case. The police have not given any further updates. Deen, however, said he still believes his daughter is alive. A missing person under the Jamaican Constitution is only presumed dead after 7 years. I still not give up hope, because my daughter out there. I just wait and see what is going to happen, he said. I don't hear no police or nobody call me. The last time I hear from them a couple of months ago, but them said them at work. Jasmine was last seen on February 27th, 2020 in Papine, St. Andrew, clad in a white blouse and blue jeans. Her disappearance sparked widespread outrage, resulting in frantic searches. All have been futile. Deen said all 30 picnic go missing and nobody now hear not all about them. This no right and it need to stop. Meanwhile, the police are still appealing to anyone with information that might be helpful in their investigations to come forward. It's hard for you see a pitney out there and know where your pitney is, but at the end of the day, that is Jamaica. And in Jamaica, once they go missing, very, very rare there. I doubt if I've ever heard of a case of anybody being found after being missing for a year. So let's see. Hi, Enid. How are you? Good night. Thanks for checking in. Hi, Charmaine. How are you? Thanks for checking in. Charmaine says, I can only imagine the anguish for these parents, right? It's so hard. I mean, that's Jamaica. Once them go missing, and if they're missing for more than a month or two, that's it. Like, me don't know nobody who come back after them times and say, oh, here I am, or whatever. It's just like there's a whole what they call it, Bermuda Triangle down there, where bodies just go missing and that's it. So I don't know. Enid, let me know if you've tried the tea and if you've enjoyed it. I think you got the tea, or was it the coffee? Whichever one you got, let me know if you enjoyed it. Hi, Charmaine. Say hi to Errol. Okay, so I'm still staying in Jamaica. And we're going to touch on a case that's been going on since last year. And it involved a guy in Portland by the name of Beachy Stout. So Justice Vinette Graham Allen warned on last Wednesday that the murder of a witness will not stop a criminal case from being tried. The judge gave the caution in the home circuit court as she refused the bail application for Portland businessman Everton Beachy Stout McDonald. However, Justin Graham Allen, before announcing her decision, highlighted that besides the allegations that the accused had paid men to murder both his wives and his nephew, a Crown witness in whom he had reportedly confided about paying to kill his first wife was also killed. There are authorities in this jurisdiction that deal with when a crown witness dies, so killing a witness does not prevent a case from going on in Jamaica, she said. The 67-year-old accused is facing 2 counts of murder in relation to his first wife, Merlene, who was killed in May 2009, and Tanya, his second wife, who was murdered last July. Oscar Barnes is charged along with McDonald in Tanya's murder. Her partially burnt body was found with the throat slashed beside her torched car along the Sherwood Forest Main Road in Portland. Another man, Denvalin Minot, said to be the contract killer, was also arrested and charged, but pleaded guilty in the Home Circuit Court last September and was sentenced to 19 years in prison. The contract killer, in a witness statement, claimed that he was offered $3 million by McDonald to end his wife's life. But Minot revealed in the statement that he hired another man, Barnes, to carry out the crime, and that he watched as the man repeatedly stabbed the 32-year-old businesswoman. In the first matter, cold case, Merlene was shot in the head and chest outside her home in Brookbound, Portland. It is alleged that Beachy Stout had paid a police detective to kill her after their marriage crumbled and she left the matrimonial home. Justice Graham Allen, in outlining the reasons for declining McDonald's application, pointed to the nature and seriousness of the offense and also that he had a propensity for violence. The judge said that McDonald had been charged in Portland for cutting off a man's finger, but that matter had been settled. The justice also indicated that the accused did not have a good character, noting the seriousness of the allegations. He knows people who he hires to kill, said Justice Graham Allen. So you have a dead witness, you have 2 dead wives, and the prosecution says the concern it has is if this accused is admitted to bail is that he will interfere with the witnesses. Well, this court is satisfied that there are substantial grounds for believing that if the accused, Everton McDonald, is released on bail, he will fail to surrender to custody because he's now realizing what is facing him. McDonald, who appeared in court via Zoom, go on Jamaica, have Zoom down there, you can't go to court in a Zoom, was remanded until September 23rd. Barnes, whose address is still to be verified, has not yet been released on bail and will return to court on July 20. So Tanya, his second wife, is now 32. She was killed last July. He is 67. His first wife, Merlene, was killed in 2009, while at that time they stated, based on all the talkings that happened back in July, that he was dating Tanya. So Tanya was the side piece when he killed Merlene. And she decided to still continue in a relationship with him. And they claim, again, this is based on voice notes and videos and all the other talkings that people were talking around that time last July, was that she was also cheating on him. So that's why he killed her, because she was cheating on him with a younger girl. There's also talk that I can't remember if it's Tanya's mother was also killed mysteriously, and they were pointing fingers at Beachy as well. And the other thing on this too is Beachy's son is a soldier, or was a soldier, in the USA. His son is also charged with killing his wife. I think it was either 2019 or 2020 that his son killed his wife. So the father is charged with killing 2 wives, his nephew, that's what he's charged with. He also had a man's finger cut off because he found out that the man was stealing from him. So he had the man's finger cut off. And his second wife, mother, was killed mysteriously, and them say I didn't do it. Right? So enough things are going over there. So it's just, yeah. Um, Enid says, I got the tea. I do enjoyed it. Good that you did. Good that you did. And she said, the man is sick to him head. Colleen says, real passa passa killer breed. I don't know. There's something there because it must be killing wives. Must be the business that's over there because I mean them just a kill them wife. Him one kill two and the son kill one. So yeah. So I'm going to circle to Indiana, and 3 children and a woman were found dead in a gruesome Indiana killing, and an acquaintance is arrested. So authorities in Indiana are investigating the murders of a woman and 3 children whose bodies were found yesterday morning in a home in Fort Wayne. A statement from Fort Wayne police alleges the 4 victims who have yet to be identified knew their killer. Cohen Bennett Hans Baron, 21, was arrested Wednesday afternoon after just 5 p.m. He was identified as a suspect in the murders early on and had tracked him to an apartment complex in Lafayette. And they're saying that they're going to be transferring him back to Fort Wayne to face 4 felony murder counts. And this is a situation where it's an acquaintance of the mother. There's some entanglement going on, and the entanglement was supposed to be untangled, and the young man didn't take it well. So the young man decided to, get rid of the family. And I mean, he also has a prior conviction for robbery. He was sentenced to 6 years in corrections in February, but was allowed to serve time in home detention. So he has a robbery charge, was guilty, got 6 years, didn't go to jail, but was allowed to stay in home detention. And then he escaped from home detention in April, and a warrant was issued for his arrest, and that's what ended up happening. So a mother and her 3 children were dead because they did not lock up this guy who got sentenced to 6 years in prison. And I'm coming to Canada, but this is kind of a off the cuff statement or news item because there wasn't a lot of write up about it. I only found out about it because I went to buy some accessory pieces and some furniture pieces, and my guy was telling me that it was a good time to buy because the prices are going up. So furniture prices will be going up in the next few weeks. A new 295% tariff will be assessed on furnitures coming in from Vietnam and China. So if you're looking to buy like a bedroom set, or if you're looking to buy anything with fabric or anything with leather, the prices are going to double and triple starting, I think it's starting in June because the tariff has already been levied. So stuff that used to cost like a bedroom set that would have cost you $4,000 may now cost you either $8,000 or $12,000 because of the tariff that they've implemented. And they're saying that the government implemented the tariff on those particular countries because they're dumping products that are unfairly priced. So Canadian manufacturers cannot compete with them. What that will mean also is that it's going to take you longer to get furniture that are made in Canada. Made in Canada furniture right now, you're averaging maybe a 4-month wait. So if those pieces that are supposed to come from China and Vietnam are not coming in, because based on the article, there's a few stores in Toronto and Vancouver have already canceled their shipments because they will not be able to sell the products because of the price hike. So people are already losing money because, they won't be able to sell. One guy in Vancouver said if you were looking at a chair that cost $698, now that particular chair will be $2,500. So there was a guy that said he had lots of containers that he canceled those containers because the people wouldn't that initially put their deposit down would not want those furniture because now they would have to pay more. Because it doesn't matter when the goods was purchased, if they have not yet gotten to the Canadian port, they are now, so if the goods were purchased, say March, and the container left March, but it didn't come in until June 20, and the tariff went into effect June 1st. Come June 20, you're paying the new rate. You're not paying the old rate based on when you bought your furniture back in March. So there's a lot of issues going on. A lot of the manufacturers and the distributors are up in arms about it. It was brought about by Palliser, who's one of the main Canadian furniture manufacturer. But at the end of the day, they cannot keep up with the demand for furniture in Canada. So they're saying if this is allowed to happen and to carry on, it'll take you up to a year to get your goods. So if you need to buy pieces, go now. Make sure they have them in stock and you don't have to wait for them to come in. Because if you have to wait, you're going to pay the higher price. But just a little tidbit of information. Let's see. Charmaine says, murderer, blood all over him. Yes. And Charmaine says, time to hit the floor. Well, for those who can, fine. But I find it no matter what I put on the floor. I'm like the princess and the pea. No matter what I put on the floor, it doesn't matter. Unless it's a full mattress I put on the floor, me good. Anything, a blanket on the floor, carpet, and anything else, me uncomfortable. So yeah, that's just me. But if you other people who have joined me since, say hello, drop a comment, say hi, let me know who's here with me, and share the live. Let other people know what fun we have on Thursdays. Yeah, so I'm sure a lot of you have heard about the incident in London where the 5 family members were mowed down by a driver while they were out walking last Sunday. And apparently they were targeted because they were Muslim. The father, the grandmother, the mother, and the daughter all passed away, leaving just a 9-year-old son. The 20-year-old male has been charged with 4 counts of first-degree attempted murder in connection with the crime. That 20-year-old has been identified as Nathaniel Veltman, and he's now in custody. Went up for bail. It has since been denied. The RCMP has reached out to the local London office to offer their assistance, where they will be looking to add terrorism charges to the other charges that he already has. The flags at all government buildings in Ontario will be flown at half-mast until all the victims have been buried. So condolences to the family and prayers to the boy, and hope he recovers. I'm not sure how, that's just traumatic. That's just very, very traumatic for him. So we're going to circle around to Utah. Charmaine says, listen how it's going to be played out as mental health. That's one aspect of what they're looking at. They're also looking at, they had mentioned that his parents got divorced, so there was some issues with that. And they're also looking to see how he was radicalized to hate Muslim. So that should be an interesting case to follow, and we'll see what happens with it. Okay. So we're going to go to Utah. And a Utah man has been sentenced to 30 years in federal prison for the fatal beating of his wife. The beating was witnessed by two of their three daughters on board an Alaskan ship, reports the Daily Mail. Unbelievably, the family was on the July 2017 cruise to celebrate the couple's 18th wedding anniversary. I don't understand how you go from celebrating your anniversary to killing your wife, but hey. So in addition to the 30-year sentence, Kenneth Manzanares, 43, will also have 5 years of supervised release. That don't make sense. So after I'm serving 30 years, I'll come out, then him have another 5 years for, oh Lord. Acting U.S. Attorney Brian Wilson of the District of Alaska said in a release statement that the murder was not a random act of violence, but a chilling neglect for human life. Manzanares' lawyers had been seeking a far more lenient 7.5-year sentence, citing bipolar disorder and brain abnormalities consistent with playing contact sports. They also said Manzanares, who pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in February 2020, was under the influence of alcohol and prescription medication at the time of the killing. Christy was beaten to death after an explosive argument in the couple's cabin on the Emerald Princess, where they were holidaying with their daughters and extended family, including Christy's father and two brothers. So, the father and the two brothers, them couldn't throw him overboard. Christy told Manzanares she wanted a divorce, and he blamed her for his actions afterwards, telling security she wouldn't stop laughing at him. Two of their daughters had been ordered out of their parents' room when the fight broke out and were in a relative's room next door and heard their mother screaming. They went out on a shared balcony where they saw their father straddling their mother and beating her head with his closed fists. One of Christy's brothers also saw Manzanares dragging her body towards the balcony to throw her overboard, but he grabbed his sister's ankles and saved her from a watery grave. Life-saving measures were performed by the crew security, but she was pronounced dead. Some of the fellow passengers mistook the killing for a dramatized murder mystery that was being put on for their entertainment. The plea agreement allowed Manzanares to appeal the reasonableness of the sentence. So many things wrong with this. You're celebrating your 18th anniversary. Then your wife tells you she wants a divorce. You start beat her, kill her in front of your kids, try to throw her overboard. Then the father and the brother, they couldn't accidentally beat him to death or accidentally throw him overboard. Honestly. Colleen says, same thing me. I said, am I idiot? Man accidentally throw him overboard. It was a tussle. Just like him did a try to lift up the lady for throw her overboard. Accidentally lift him up like you're trying to get your sister from him. Accidentally throw him overboard. Accidentally throw him overboard. So, I touched on a story last week where a lady went to court and did not want the guy who stabbed her up to be sentenced or to go to jail or whatever. So, there's been a little bit more to the story. So I'm just going to give you the backstory and, you'll hear more about Yamabellas, Yameds, and idiots. So minutes after Stefina Ralston exited a court-ordered counseling session on Wednesday, she gets stabbed up and them order her to go counseling. And she came out of the counseling session on Wednesday. She reiterated that she wanted the man accused of nearly killing her to be granted bail and for legal proceedings to be discontinued. The 23-year-old Warsop Trelawney woman who was nearly disemboweled in a stabbing attack allegedly by Anthony Israel Bailey 7 weeks ago said she wants to focus her attention on her education and the fetus she's reportedly carrying for the 39-year-old man. So he's 39, she's 23 and pregnant. Then she said, when him did I stab up her belly, I picked him, did I stab out it? In the meantime, she wants Jamaicans out of her business. It is my case, my decision, she told the Gleaner. The matter initially sparked national outrage amid a rash of cases of spousal violence and growing concern over domestic violence, including an assault scandal that happened with George Wright, and we'll touch on that later because there's been some development on it. All right. So Bailey, who has been charged with attempted murder, was remanded on Wednesday, the second time in 7 days. So last week when I had brought the first story, he had come up for bail and he didn't get bail, and she did not want them to send him back to jail. And then this week he came up for bail again, and it's been denied, and she wanted charges dismissed. So they are saying he's expected to return to court either June 28th or September 7th. On Wednesday, his lawyer, Kadeen Coleman, was absent because she was reportedly handling a number of matters in the circuit court in Duncan's Trelawney. But Ralston is impatient with the pace at which the system is going. The woman who received stab wounds to her shoulder, arm, and abdomen during the April 15 attack in Warsop is adamant that she does not want the case to go further, having spent a week in hospital where a doctor saved her life. The 23-year-old has resorted to calling Jamaicans who have dared to comment on her case time wasters. It is my life and Father God knows what I'm doing, she told the Gleaner on Wednesday. Ralston, who previously said she was living like a slave while in a relationship with Bailey, retracted those declarations, claiming she was egged on by people to make those statements. They don't like him. Everybody makes mistakes, she argued. Last week, clinical psychologist Georgia Rose called for mandatory therapy for the wounded woman, stating that it would be a travesty of justice if the accused were to walk free. Before the request is granted, the judge should mandate Ralston gets therapy. And I don't mean counseling, I mean sessions that will help her to not only resolve the trauma associated with the violence against her, but also help her to explore the emotions around it and her feelings towards this individual, Rose said. From the outrage that Ralston spewed on Wednesday, it was apparent that early counseling had not changed her mind. Ralston, who called Baby her ex-boyfriend last week, because that's what she said on Wednesday that he's her partner. So you pregnant. The man stab you up, put you in the hospital for a week, and you come back out and I claim me. You know what? Yeah. If he just come back out and kill you, that is it. I'm sure Charmaine says she's so right. She's going back for him to finish what he started. Exactly. Colleen said that child should burn and run away right away. Penny can't run away right away. I won't need help. Colleen said, must stop Trelawney she come from. Fool. Fall get girls are terrorists in her own way. Right? I want to stop Trelawney. Okay, please. Enid says, if she was my sister, I would beat her till she's soft like butter. Colleen said, must be pardon her. Oh, but me not understand. Me not understand. Enid says she's waiting for him to close her eyes. I don't get it. Man can't stab me up, put me in the hospital. Sorry. I mean, go back to him. Me a pay somebody to kill him. That no make it. And she says she's pregnant. And the man stab her up in her belly. Him no want the pitney. So why she want him? Me not understand it. I don't understand it at all. But she said God knows what she's doing. So we'll see how that works out. My throat dry. Ooh. Anyways. So we have to touch upon Mr. George, right? We are still at Jamaica. We have to touch upon Mr. George, right, again. Remember them, the team on video beat up fame common law spouse. He's a member of parliament for Central Westmoreland. And them both went to the police station. They both made statements, but none of them want to charge them one another. As a member of parliament, the JLP had a meeting and they couldn't have done anything. But he did take a leave of absence, and as a result of that leave of absence, he has since decided to resign from the JLP party. He will still sit as an independent member of parliament, but he's no longer affiliated with the JLP party. And there's nothing's happening with him because the lady that he was beating up will not be pressing charges on him or anything of that nature. So the most he can do is resign from parliament. They can't kick him out, and they can't have like another election to say they can't have a kick him out and have a by-election to say, okay, come out of the party, we're going to elect somebody else, because under current Jamaican law, there's no legal recourse for a member of parliament who has not been convicted of a crime to be fired or forced to resign. So that's the only thing that could have happened. Him resigning from a member of the JLP, but he's still a member of parliament. Yeah. But I thought this next story was quite interesting and that there's hope for me yet. So I'm going to go to New York, and 95-year-old John Schultz says the best thing to come out of the COVID-19 pandemic is coming down the aisle. It's coming down the aisle. His bride, Joy Morrow Knowlton, is also 95. Together, they're proving you're never too old to make a lifetime commitment. CBS News first met the couple in March, parked along the banks of the Hudson River in upstate New York. Schultz and Morrow Knowlton have both been widowed twice, but were determined to find love again, which was easy. Before they were vaccinated, they had to do most of their dating in a bubble. She was worth it. It was a pain in the neck, though, Schultz said, of maintaining the relationship through the pandemic. Schultz's son, Pete, said the two would call each other every day. They'd find a way to get together. They did whatever it took. At age 95, there is hope for me yet. Yay! That's so nice. Can you imagine? 95-year-old, and they both got married. They're both 95, both got married. That's nice. That's nice. Colleen says, I hold these so-called modern day women so dumb. I haven't got a clue, man. And at least they're the same age. Old but no cool. Girl, they're getting married. They got married at age 95. They're both on their third marriage. Never too old. Never too old at all. Never too old. So we're going to circle to Ontario. We're going to talk about what's happening here with the various steps. So we're moving into step 1 of the roadmap to reopen on June 11th. So that's tomorrow. So as of midnight tonight, non-essential stores are allowed to reopen with limited capacity, 15%. I can now walk into a store and buy a pot to cook in, or buy a ice tray, or because I've been looking for that because I need to put my sea moss in it. You know, didn't want to buy online. So stuff that, now they'll take down the tapes in the stores and you can buy stuff. So outdoor dining, patio drinking, day camps, outdoor fitness classes, etc. Will be open tomorrow. However, you still can't get a haircut legally. You still can't get your nails done legally until July 5th. Maybe they'll move up those dates, but as of right now, that's the timing for personal service. So waxing, sugaring, and all of those things, massages and all of that, they're not allowed to be open until July 5th. So they would have been closed for like 7 months. It is also being reported that fully vaccinated Canadians, both citizens and permanent residents, returning from abroad won't have to quarantine anymore. The policy changes will go into effect in July, which is good news. So if you've had both your vaccines and you're traveling, when you return to Canada, the only thing you will be required to do a COVID test. And it's one of those instant tests. So you'll get your results back right away. And then after that, you'll get your results in a couple of days, but you won't have to quarantine if you can show proof that you've had both your vaccines. All right. So far, 27.2 million people have gotten their first dose in Ontario. So the corona numbers for this week are as follows. In Canada, 1.4 million people have been tested, 1.35 million have recovered. There's been 25,843 deaths. Worldwide numbers are 174 million tested, 160 million plus have recovered, and 3.75 million have died. In Ontario, we're looking at 537,000 who have been tested, 522,000 have recovered, 8,920 have died. And in Jamaica, 48,810 have been tested, 25,936 have recovered, and 960 people have died. I'm going to hit on go to St. Kitts for a bit. Reason being, they issued their travel requirements for visiting St. Kitts, and they have stated that only fully vaccinated visitors are allowed to enter and visit their country. If you're a citizen of St. Kitts, you're okay to go back. If you're a resident of St. Kitts, you're okay to go. If you are just visiting St. Kitts, you will be required to show proof that you've had both your vaccines, and you will also both your vaccine shots, and you will also be required to take a COVID test upon arrival there. So if you can't show say you get your 2 shots, you're not allowed in the country. I know a couple of companies that are making it a requirement now for you to have already gotten your vaccine before they hire you. I know a couple of schools are doing that with regards to dorm living for September and all of that stuff, right? So it's so that's St. Kitts flag. So yeah, St. Kitts, that's what they're doing now. And I'm sure other countries are going to start doing the same thing because, they're just not sure what's going to be happening with this virus, because every day there's a different strain coming out. Okay. So, and also, there is a I saw a video yesterday, and there was a notice put out by the by scientists with the CDC and a lot of research people. And the lady in the picture, where you see she has her hand at her neck. So the scientists put out, there's videos going around where people are saying that if you've already gotten the vaccine, there's magnet in the vaccine. So if you put stuff on your skin, it'll stick to it because of the magnet in the vaccine. So the scientists have come out and said there's, no truth to it. It doesn't work. That's not true because whatever. So this lovely lady is a nurse. And as a nurse working in the health field, you would think that she would know better. No. So what she did was she stuck a key to her chest and it stuck, but then it fell off. So then she kept trying to stick it to her neck and it wouldn't stick. And she tried the a paper clip to stick it to her neck and it wouldn't stick. This is all the while she's in a council meeting, right? Asking the question of why metal is sticking to her body while the metal is not sticking to her body because it doesn't stay. But she insists on asking the question, even though it's not true. But it's the expression on the face of the lady in the blue, the back for me, because that lady is clearly saying, what the hell are you talking about? Clearly you haven't got a clue. So, yeah. Boy, there's some crazy people out there. Crazy people out there, I can tell you. Crazy, crazy people out there. Anyways, I saw this on, oh God, I can't remember where I saw it, but the guy wrote in and asked for an opinion as to what he should do. And his question was, Angie says, thanks for checking in, Angie. Clearly she's an idiot. Anyways, so the guy wrote in and he says, the other night I was about to have a threesome and my penis couldn't get hard. It was the most embarrassing thing ever. Imagine being embarrassed in front of a stranger plus your wife. I could tell both of them were embarrassed for me too. They ended up using sex toys on each other and calling it a day while I smoke outside. That has never happened to me before, and the next morning it was hard, just like usual. I can't believe it happened. And he's asking what people think happened. So who just checked in? Let's see. Enid says, really crazy. Clarendon Goody says, wrong meeting. She should be meeting with the mental health department, right? Marcel, good night, B. Good night, Marcel. How are you? Hi, Clarendon. Thanks for checking in. Hi, Angie. Anyways, like I said, this particular gentleman went to have a threesome with his girl and another girl and couldn't get it up. You think he did anxious? You think he did anxious? Because he said the next morning, it's one of my WTF stories. You think he did anxious? Because, yeah, couldn't get it up. Poor soul. Have two girls and can't get it. Clarendon says up. Charmaine says penis got stage fright. Angie said because it is not supposed to be done. No way. Clarendon says how old is he? Hold that. I don't think he put his age. Yeah, he didn't put his age. Did not put his age at all. So he ended up having to go smoke outside while the ladies did what they had to do with each other and call it a night. And the next morning he was good to go again. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyways, I am going to circle to India. This is another WTF moment for me. So a groom married the sister of his bride in India after his would-be wife died of a heart attack at their wedding. The woman, who was named only as Surbi, collapsed after suffering a heart attack while exchanging vows with her husband to be Mangesh Kumar at the start of their ceremony last week, according to India's local media. After a doctor pronounced the bride dead, the families of the bride and groom agreed the bride's younger sister would wed the groom. So the woman just drop dead, so them just carry on with the wedding and say, okay, me I go marry to you instead? Like, seriously? Clarendon Goody says penis had COVID. Right? And just says, as you should go out and smoke. Why may I tell you? I can you imagine you get married, you drop dead, they pronounce you dead, and then decide, oh, I'm just gonna carry on with the wedding because hey, I don't understand. I the one that Clarendon say, say I will just dash with this food. Don't church where you need it for use again. You need it for use again. Angie says, wow. I mean, like, yo, it left me speechless. That does not happen very often, that I'm speechless. But when we stop to process what happened, the woman in at the middle of saying her vows and drop dead. Them not stop the wedding, keep it another day or another week. Them just say, okay, you dead. And turn to the sister and say, okay, you slide in. And then decide, say, okay, I ate that. Wedding continue. So anybody, which part the morning part come in? But I don't know. Erica says, hey Erica, thanks for checking in. Arranged marriages and probably just meet the wedding day. True that, but still somebody died. Clarendon says they have strange cultural practices. Erica says, yup. Enid said this was planned. But I mean, I know. Them do ever take a minute to breathe and say, okay, next week. Them just say, boom, okay, sister slide in. Charmaine says, speedy cremation, let's get it. I don't ever think them cremate the body. Them just pronounce it dead and say, I ate that. I ate that. Me not understand it. That left me speechless. Some things me not understand in some culture, and that was one of them. I don't know. Anyways, I am going to go to Florida. See that cute little boy on the right of the screen? He's 12. Let's see, somebody else said something. Clarendon says, I've seen where the husband beat the woman, and guess who come to bail the man? The woman parents. Yep. Erica says, Dory don't pay, so him have to marry somebody. I may understand him have to marry, but what may I say? Them couldn't wait a day or two. But right in the same ceremony, boop you drop dead, boop, okay, next. Nah man. That not right. Okay. So on to Florida. The shocking shootout involved two children who ran away from a Florida children's home outside Orlando has put the spotlight on just how few resources there are for troubled youths. So the little boy in the picture is 12. Him and a 14-year-old girl who cops say broke into a home and found guns they used to shoot at deputies had already had pretty significant problems, but now they're facing criminal charges. According to Insider Edition, the girl's father, Steve Jackson, who said he was in disbelief when he learned that his daughter was a suspect in the shootout, along with a 12-year-old boy. I didn't think a little 14-year-old girl would be able to be capable of firing a shotgun, Jackson said. The children were reported missing from their group home Tuesday, shortly before 5 p.m. And according to the press release from the Volusia County Sheriff's Office, police were called to the facility 289 times last year alone to deal with various problems. So they're in a group home, and it's for problem kids. And they're saying that around 7:30 p.m., a passerby reported hearing glass break at a home in the Enterprise neighborhood. As they approached the house, deputies saw two figures in the house. They contacted the homeowner, who told them no one should be home and that there was a handgun, a shotgun, and an AK-47 inside, along with a large amount of ammunition. The 14-year-old was shot and wounded after she allegedly came out of the garage and pointed a gun at deputies, according to authorities. Her father said she was shot in the neck. The 12-year-old boy came out 30 seconds later with his hands raised. He was charged Thursday, which is today, with attempted first-degree murder of a law enforcement officer. Now, the girl's father is stating that the police officer is stating that the 14-year-old over the last year stole a bunch of puppies, gets put in a halfway home in Flagler County, burns down the halfway house. So what do? They send her to another halfway house, right? Now, that's a 14-year-old girl. The father is saying his daughter ain't no thug. She ain't no gangster like that. She stole puppies. What kind of a gangster steals a puppy? This despite the fact that just 2 months ago, she was also charged with setting 6 bushfires with a cigarette lighter. The father says, I know she has done some things in her past. She's also changed medications. She has mental disorders that are diagnosed. The father said, I love you. I wish I could be there next to you. I'm glad you woke up. I'm glad you're safe, he says about his daughter, who remains in the hospital. I listened to the video, and on the video I could hear the one of the police officer. First of all, the shooting started and they didn't know who they were shooting at. So there were shots were being fired from the house. The police were returning fire. They didn't know who they were shooting at. Somehow they realized that it was kids that were in the house. So then word came out that they should try not to shoot to kill the kids, like to be careful, to fall back and see if they'll come out of the house voluntarily. And on the video as well, I could hear one police officer praying that he would not have to shoot and kill them once they found out that they were kids, right? Because they discovered that they were the kids that had escaped from the group home, right? Now, imagine the father stating that his daughter is not a thug. She burned down the group home what she did in her. That's why they transfer her to this group home, right? Where she just meet this little boy who is not a saint himself, but I'm sure he would not have gotten into as much trouble if they hadn't met. And they've only known each other for, I think she was at the group home for like a day. A day. Right? She steal puppy. She burned down the group home. She set fire to different places. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Clarendon says this is crazy. Angie says Bonnie and Clyde. Clarendon says she has smoked too much weed. Clarendon says she lonely. Oh, Jesus. Marcel says child don't need a group home. She's sick mentally. Something wrong with her. Something wrong with her. Because with all and then the father in a denial. The father is in denial. Marcel said a group home can't help. The father, it didn't help because she burned down the first one where she going now and she escaped from the second one. Well, now she'll go. Well, I guess Florida doesn't have a minimum age requirement for whatever. So she'll go to jail. She'll be tried as a juvenile. She'll be sentenced as a juvenile with an adult component to it, where when our juvenile portion of the sentence done, once you reach 18, then them transfer her to adult court. So we'll see how something will happen with that part then. Anyways, we're moving on to Miss Pocket Rocket. She ran a stunning 10.63 seconds in the 100 meter to set a new national record and become the second fastest woman of all time when she did her trials in Jamaica at the National Stadium in Kingston. Fraser Price, who shared the national record with Elaine Thompson Hera at 10.7 seconds and had a season's best 10.84 seconds, moved past Americans Marion Jones, who did 10.65 seconds, and Carmelita Jeter, who did 10.64 seconds, into the second all-time position behind world record holder, the late Florence Griffiths Joyner's 10.49 seconds. No, I thought that somebody had already broken that record. I didn't know that almost 20 years later, nobody has run as fast as Flojo. I never know that. I think somebody broke that record a long time, but Pocket Rocket is close to it. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that. So we're going to circle to Minnesota, and a man was arrested nearly 49 years after Chicago area slain Barry Lee Welpley, 76 years old, was charged with murder in connection with the 1972 stabbing death of 15-year-old Julie Ann Hansen. The retired welder, who was 27 at the time of the killing, has been charged with murder and was taken into custody in Minnesota. At a court hearing, Welpley waived extradition to Illinois and is expected to return to the state in the next few days. Naperville Police Chief Robert Marshall said it wasn't clear whether he has an attorney. The girl was reported missing July 8, 1972, after last being seen riding away from her home on a bicycle. Her body was discovered later that day in a field in Naperville. She had been stabbed 36 times and sexually assaulted. Investigators said at the time no suspects were immediately identified, and Marshall said through the years those suspects who were identified were all eliminated through the exhaustive investigation of our detectives. He said Welpley was never considered a suspect and was never interviewed by police. He said over the years, it was a standard practice for officers newly assigned to the Detective Bureau, including him, to start investigating the case. Until houses were built in the remote area where the body was found, Police would go there on the anniversary of her death in the hopes that her killer might show up, he said. They did the same thing for years at the girl's gravesite in the hopes that the killer might start feeling remorse and show up, Marshall said. The breakthrough in the case came through technological advances in DNA and genetic genealogy analysis. From that came the scientific evidence that pointed to Welpley, a 1964 graduate of Naperville High School who lived about a mile from the girl's house at the time of the killing. Wow. "49 years later. But then there's no statute of limitation on murder. But can you imagine the man figure say 49 years later, he's just going about his business, doing what him get up in an old age and him have to go to prison. I remember watching a show on ID, and when the police went to it was like 40 some odd years, no, it was about 30 some odd years later. It was the same murder thing, and it was 40 some odd years later, and the police had shown up to his house, and he looked at them like, "What are you showing up here now for this? Like, who's still looking for a murderer?" Like, his attitude to them was like, "Why are you wasting your time?" Like, people are cray-cray. But this man in his 70s now going to jail after being, killing somebody for what, 10 years, 40 odd years, 50, almost 50 years. Whew, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go to Kentucky. So a mom and her 4 kids were among 6 people killed in a wrong-way crash on a Kentucky highway. So it was her mother, it was a young mother, her 4 children, and the driver of the other car. So Catherine Green, 30, was driving on I-75 just before 12:30 p.m. when her vehicle was hit head-on by another car traveling in the wrong direction. Green was transported to the hospital where she was pronounced dead, as were 3 of her children traveling in the car: Santana, 11, Braden, 5, and Jack, 2. One, Carmen Green, one of the kids died on the spot. The others died in the hospital. The driver of the other car's name was Jamaica Natasha Codhill, the 38-year-old driver. Drove the wrong way on the highway and head-on collision, and 6 people died. 6 people died. So I had a good chuckle when I read this story. Now imagine a Burger King, it goes, a Burger King customer tells the employee her uniform is a distraction to her husband. So the Burger King employee then calls out the female customer and had a thing on TikTok. She says, so that's how the picture on screen is how the Burger King employee looks in her clothes. Like her shirt is over her pants and whatever. And she goes, "I had a lady complain today because my uniform was a distraction to her husband." The fast food staffer, known digitally as Lala, said in a viral social media post. Her ranting video has garnered a whopping 14.8 million views on TikTok. In the video, Lala, a mom of 1 who identifies as a Sudanese and a biochemistry student residing in the Midwest, gave viewers a 360-degree view of herself while dressed in a loose-fitting black Burger King polo shirt with a company-branded hat to match and a pair of hip-hugging black jeans. Apparently, her backside was a distraction. She says, "I guess I'll leave my ass home next time." The burger flipper said in the video before giving the camera her middle finger. She captioned the clip, "Girl, F you. Karens always have the audacity and the nerve." Can you imagine You're going to tell somebody, say, you go into the workplace, I go tell them, say, them uniform is a distraction to your husband. Leave your husband at home. Leave your husband home. Leave your husband at home. If him that easily distracted, leave him home. Leave him home. Clarendon says black girl magic. That's right. We got the booty. So the other day I mentioned that some states were offering unvaccinated people the opportunity to win up to $1 million if they took the vaccine. Well, in Jamaica, Supreme Ventures, they are the group that does the cash pot and runs the lottery in Jamaica. They've decided to do something similar in an effort to stimulate the country's vaccination levels. The Supreme Ventures Group announced its new Vax and Win lottery promotion, which will enable people to win hundreds of thousands in cash and prizes every week. In a release, the company said that the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission has been advised that the promotion, which will hit the market very soon, ensures that individuals who get their vaccinations can also receive great cash and prizes. According to Supreme Venture, effective June 20th, any individual over 18 who has been vaccinated can enter and get their chance to win. Entries will be submitted via an online entry form. Each person is allowed one entry, and upon winning, individuals will simply need to present their vaccination card and IDs to receive their prizes. Interesting. Some people had said they should have offered Viagra, but we'll see how that goes over. We know Jamaicans like lottery. They like cash pot. Them like the chance. Everybody likes a chance and the opportunity to win something. Your chances of winning should be greater in this lottery because of the amount of people that will enter. Because, so far, I think less than 50,000 people in Jamaica have been vaccinated. So it should be interesting as to how it gets done. So DeMarcus Spears, a 30-year-old Florida man, is facing kidnapping and assault charges after reportedly attempting to force a lady to upload sexually explicit content to OnlyFans. Spears allegedly threatened to harm the woman unless she made him an OnlyFans account and posted a video of herself in a threesome with him and another lady. According to the Florida police, it all started on May 19th when Spears discovered that the victim had gone to a strip club without him. Spears and he discovered that via Snapchat and continued to phone her more than 100 times throughout the night. The victim contacted Spears back at 7 a.m. the next day and an argument ensued. According to Newsbreak, Spears then went to the lady's home, kidnapped, assaulted, and attempted to put her onto OnlyFans. After she got into his car, he continued to hit her across her face while holding her in the car while driving around all day. He continued to enlighten her with his plans for essentially pimping her out on OnlyFans while keeping all of the money. Clearwater police said Spears is charged with kidnapping and battering a woman, then threatening her with more violence unless she made an OnlyFans account and upload a video of herself engaging in sexual behavior with Spears and another woman. Police also said that Spears allegedly told the lady he kidnapped and raped her to cash her paycheck and give her all of her money. The woman attempted to run away after Spears drove up to a Mid-Florida credit union to cash the money. Her attempts to flee, however, ultimately failed. Spears drove away after dragging her back into the car. The lady could finally reach her phone to call 911 and leave on foot after he drove his car into a Costco parking lot. Spears is claimed to have chased her down when she got out of the car and tackled her to the ground. He then snatched her phone and the two fought over it. He eventually got away with her phone and ID. He was arrested the next day in Florida and charged in connection with the woman's kidnapping and assault, as well as his failed attempt to persuade her to create an OnlyFans account, extortion, strong arm robbery, criminal battery, grand theft, false imprisonment, and tampering with a witness are among the counts he faces. Ah, laddie today. Clarendon saying watch too much Netflix. You think so? You think I Netflix do that? Something in the water nowadays. Something in the water. Something in the water. Anyways, I'm gonna go back to Jamaica, and it's one of the places that's Flatbridge. It's one of the places I fear having to drive over. One of the places I dread having to go by. Last week, a woman intentionally drove off the bridge and into the Rio Cobra and drowned. And yesterday, there was an accident with a passenger bus and a motor car, and the one person died. A lot of people. One person died. There's several persons who were injured and had to be taken to the hospital. There's about nine people who were who had to be pulled from the river. There are actually divers who it's their work. It's what they do to be at the bridge to pull to help rescue people who go over into the bridge, who go over the bridge into the river. I have a fear of driving on that bridge. When I'm going from Kingston to Montego Bay, I always tell whomever, please to find another route where I don't have to drive on that bridge. And mind you, there's stoplights at either side of the bridge, so only one car is supposed to think. But I don't know, something always every week, if not every month, something happen a flat bridge. Me not like over there. It's like too much duppy down there. Call. We want fresh blood. We want more. Me not like over there. Me don't like over there. Anyways, we're staying in Jamaica. So the police yesterday charged pastor of the New Life Apostolic Church in Montego Bay with raping a 15-year-old member of the church. The man of the cloth has been identified as 39-year-old Jason Omar Rose, who's also a processing clerk from Content District in the parish. Police reported that in March, a 15-year-old student went to visit Rose and his family at his home, which was located on the church premises at 62 Barney Street in Montego Bay. It is alleged that during the visit, Rose pushed the student on a bed in a room and had sexual intercourse with her against her will. The matter was later reported to the police. The pastor turned himself into the Center for the Investigation of Sexual Offenses and Child Abuse on June 7th. Following question and answer interview, was formally charged yesterday and is scheduled to appear in the St. James Parish Court on June 14th. When my pitney grew, she no go a yard when me no know. Then again, you figure say, are the pastor yard ya send her. But who else did it? YPI. Clarence said, fix your face, lady. Clarence, you know, when Phil Pitney I grow old, we stay. We have to know mother, father, auntie, uncle, brother, sister, extended, and extended down the extended. Me never played, me never played that with mine, and you never played that with yours. We know. Like, I mean, no, and people just send them picnic go everywhere. Nah, man. Especially in a demo time, yeah. No, not sleepover. Well, there was only two house. There was only three house she went. Yours, your sister's, and my mother's. No sleepover. Unless not even no. We don't play them the game. That no. Like when we read them the story that we hear about them, there's something and the pastor them just annoy it. It just get me iggy. Me just get ignorant for them something there. Me get ignorant bad. Yeah. Me get ignorant for them something there. But we are still in a Jamaica because this little story right here, I had a good chuckle. So the president of the Kiwanis Club of Stony Hill, and just say, no way me not play those games in them time. And it might, and when my daughter passed 18, she was allowed to stay out and them the time that me still ask where you going, who is there, who is the brother, who is the sister, who is the auntie, me not play any game there. Nah, me not play that. But can you imagine a police station getting a printer to use in the police station and it makes the newspaper? Yes, that is what happened in Jamaica. A printer was presented to the Stony Hill police station in St. Andrew, and it made the newspaper. I thought it was quite funny. They're saying now the printer can now be, the Stony Hill police can now use the printer in the preparation of its reports. I'm just gobsmacked that story made news. Like, really? I me find it funny, but anyways, I am moving on to the soul Chattingz section of the show. That means we're, almost at the end. And the soul Chattingz for tonight is what's broken can be mended, what hurts can be healed. And no matter how dark it gets, the sun is going to rise again. So what's broken can be mended, what hurts can be healed, and no matter how dark it gets, the sun is going to rise again. And we're on to our giveaway section. And the giveaway for tonight is the Matrix Protein Powder. It's gluten-free. It's vegan. You can use it as a meal replacement. You can use it before your workout or after workout if you when you do your workouts and stuff. So it is quite good. I do use it as a part. I put it in my smoothies and stuff. And but it's halal free. It's halal, it's vegan, it's gluten free, and it's all that stuff. So that's what we're drawing for tonight. And let's see who will win tonight. Let's see who's gonna win tonight. And and I guess and Jimmy, I draw again. You won the other day. I'm drawing again. Oh, Lord. Enid? Oh man. Okay, we're trying to give it to somebody who has not won anything yet. Oh, Erica. No, you haven't won yet. Okay, so you can get the Matrix. I'll drop it off sometime between now and next week. I'll message you. I know where you are. And congratulations. So it is a protein powder. So, Angie got her prize. What did Angie won? What did she win the other day? Angie won fight the other day. Enid won tea the other day. So I'm trying to spread the love and give it to, individuals who haven't won anything yet. So Erica hasn't won. So now she's won tonight. So I will drop it off to give it to Erica and something. And then, circle around and thing again. Sherry, leave me alone. Kind of leave me alone. Anyways, I thank you all for joining me tonight. It was fun. It was informative. It was interesting. See you next Thursday. Same time, same place, 9 p.m. Facebook Live. Thank you all for joining. And we are out for tonight.